There are some times in sports where things just take over. They have stopped the press that nobody prints newspapers anymore. But anyway, they have stopped the typing, I guess, where everything is focused solely on this one thing. Even in a time when college football has their college football rankings out, we're getting down to the stretch run of the season, and everything's all about Michigan. Everything is pointed at this Michigan sign stealing scandal. And I said yesterday, I'm about done with it. Where I don't know what the Big Ten is going to do. I don't know what the NCAA is going to do. And now it just, the snowball keeps falling down the hill, right? Because now Michigan's coming out and they're pointing fingers at Ohio State. And just see what Purdue is doing to us and Rutgers. And all of this stuff, it's really starting to annoy me. Let alone that it's Michigan. Because that is the biggest factor I think a lot of people are missing in this whole thing, that it is Michigan. And we are in Ohio. A lot of us are Ohio State fans. There's an instant connection. Nobody would care if Texas was doing this. It wouldn't be such the big thing. But it's directly correlated to us here in Ohio if you're an Ohio State fan and you're rooting for them to beat Michigan, go to the national championship and all those things. And I got to tell you, it's making me crazy. And yet, we'll talk about all of it right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. We'll talk Michigan a lot this morning. Our bracket, hot and heavy. Ryan, we have a runaway and another one that is very close at Matt Fontana's show of the best music video of all time. So no shock, Thriller is going down in Group 1. But Take On Me has a slight lead over Smells Like Teen Spirit and Purple Rain. So vote on that at Matt Fontana Show, above 300. Thank you very much for the follows there. We'll get to the Cavs back in action tonight, 8 o'clock tip against the Thunder. I got a lot of Browns that we'll get to as well. Some interesting articles, the mid-season report card for the Cleveland Browns. And we'll hand out some of our mid-season awards today here on the show for the Browns and the league. Bill Barnwell did that. Coach of the Year was Kevin Stefanski on that list. We'll tell you about that coming up. We got the morning update. We got Time Hop. We got it all for it right here on a Wednesday edition of the show. We'll take you up to 11 o'clock this morning, as always, right here on Big Play. So we start. Is this Browns helmet distracting?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you?
I don't know. It was over here, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll slide over here. Normally, we only put this out on Victory Monday, though.
Oh, okay.
So we'll keep that juju going. We'll slide it over here.
I like that. I like that.
Garage beer is not going anywhere, though. And boy, do I need one this morning to discuss this Michigan stuff. You don't know what's in this. You assume it's delicious coffee from get-go. You assume that maybe it was a beautiful light lager here.
That's
small
okay.
batch light beer. 95 calories here from Garage.
Oh, good. We're not on TV.
The garage is always open. Yeah, we did get a little... Top men here at Big Play had a nice reminder, like, don't drink garage beer on the air. Technically, we can, and maybe I am.
We'll never know.
You'll never know. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So another day, another thing with this Michigan scandal. And I started because I'm just going to get right to our question this morning, Ryan. Do you care what happens to Michigan and Jim Harbaugh? Because this process, like anything, it's this path. Number one, the shock, the initial shock of like, oh my God, they were doing what? Then more discovery. Then more allegations. Then the Big Ten. Now you have Michigan's rebuttal, which, by the way, they have until what, today, right? Later today to respond to the Big Ten's letter that came out Monday that said, well, you know, you might be in trouble. And now Michigan's going to fight back. I always expected this to be a long, drawn-out process. But I don't care for a lot of reasons. I really, at the initial part of it, I wanted to jump on board and go, those cheating sons of guns, and it's Michigan, and I hate Michigan, and I don't like Jim Harbaugh, and I want to see them go down. That was like 3 weeks ago. Now we are here today with no real resolution on the horizon, and it's everything. College football playoff game last night. Well, what's going on with Connor Stallions? Oh, wait, now Michigan and Purdue and Rutgers were in cahoots trying to go against Michigan. They're bringing that up. Why did they bring that up yesterday? So we know Michigan, they're involved with this. NCAA, will they get involved? So it comes out yesterday that Michigan apparently forwarded in communication to the Big Ten that Rutgers, Ohio State, and Purdue were all involved in getting Purdue signs for the Big Ten championship game yesterday. Allegedly, Ohio State gave Purdue Michigan's offensive play calls, and Rutgers gave them Michigan's defensive play calls, according to sources. And of course, Michigan beat them 52-17. They obviously didn't get all the calls. Whatever. And then it comes into the NCAA rules do not prohibit in-game sign stealing, which again sounds like that's where Rutgers and Ohio State got the signs from. They bar the off-campus advanced scouting, which is what Connor Stallions was doing. So even if they want to try to say we're going to drag these other schools down in the mud with us, there's an out in this. It's just like I'm so over this. I really am. And the problem is that this is going to hover over top of everything for the next couple of weeks. And even if the NCAA or the Big Ten step in, then you got to deal with the Michigan-Ohio State game of that still being in the... It's just, I hate that this came out now. I really do. I wish this would have come out in the offseason. Now, you could come back and tell me, well, Michigan could have been sign stealing the whole time again. And that could have impacted the games, and maybe that would have impacted Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah, maybe. And then that, I don't know how I'd feel, but it's just right. It's taking away my joy. It is literally stealing my joy from trying to watch college football. It's everything right now. And I'm mad at the Big Ten and the NCAA for not just doing something. We know that there are going to be lawyers involved, and they're going to draw this all out. But the ultimate question remains, and I think this is certainly, geared towards a lot of our Ohio State fans. Do you actually care what happens to Michigan and Jim Harbaugh? We said it yesterday. The only thing that Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, can do in his own power is a 2-game suspension and a $10,000 fine. That's nothing, okay? Now, if he wants to do something bigger, he has to go to the board, basically the Big Ten, which other schools are on, and they could do something bigger. The NCAA could step in. It is taken over. And I ultimately ask, is it really that big of a deal? And it's weird, because initially I was screaming from the mountaintops, you dirty cheaters, this is the sanctity of the game, and you clearly were impacting some games. How easy would it be to play offense or defense when you know what the other opponent is doing? That's how I started. And I've got to tell you that this process has ground me down into a fine powder of saying I don't care anymore. I just want the penalty so we can move on. Michigan's not going anywhere. You will play them again next year as Ohio State. You will play them probably every year until the day I die. At least I hope. I hope they don't mess with that game. I don't think they will. Do something to move on. Please. Because the NCAA, they like being in the stories. They like having, but not this. Not this kind of stuff where everybody's just really, I frankly think it's being shown, Ryan, how inept they are in this process. The next step will be some sort of formal punishment. And then Michigan will come back and they'll try to put an injunction in it to leave, Harbaugh on the field. And then there'll be some sort of plea deal. And this will drag into the season. Whether or not Michigan beats Ohio State, whether or not Michigan goes to win the national championship. All of those things are still going to happen. But as a fan, I hate this. I don't like it. And I'm really as involved as I should be. I am an Ohio State fan. I should be on the forefront of asking for Michigan to be penalized. I should be the one that I am so outraged on what they did. And I frankly don't care anymore. What are they going to do to them? Vacate wins, which are stupid? Do some fine that means nothing to the University of Michigan? They'll pay that off from selling hats for the season with the Michigan logo on it. They have enough money to pay whatever fine. That's trivial. That's stupid. And it comes back to, I think, even a bigger question. How bad was this really? How bad was Michigan sign stealing? In the NCAA, we deal with recruiting violations. Okay? The player still had a choice on picking on where they go to school. The next thing would be eligibility issues, flubbing test scores, people doing homework for them. Okay? Well, they were still players on the field. You still played the game. Eligibility issues for taking money or signing with an agent or getting a loan. None of that stuff necessarily impacted the game. No, again, if a player couldn't play, they suspended this player, that's different. But those players were on the field still playing. So you still had, I guess, you still played the game. This is something that impacted the game, that changed how the game was being played. And the issue, I think, that the NCAA and Big Ten might even be dealing with right now, how far does this go back? Is this every game? Has this truly been going on since 2020? They'll maybe never get any of those answers. Well, again, what are you going to do? Oh, hey, we have proof that you stole signs in this game against Western Michigan. We're going to vacate that win. What does it matter? Is Jim Harbaugh going to go for the all-time coaching record? Probably not. I don't think he's going to be there long enough. So vacated wins. Did Reggie Bush win the Heisman, Ryan?
I don't even remember.
Yes, he did. They took it away. Yes, he did. The answer to that question is yes. You, me, and everybody out there know that Reggie Bush won that Heisman. Yeah, they took it away from him. Does it really matter? No.
It's like that Louisville title in basketball.
Like, you know what they did. You know that they won that game. You want to take wins away as some penalty, whatever. The thing is, are you out for your pound of flesh? As a fan, are you out for your pound of flesh from Michigan? Because you want to know the other reason that this is really starting to weigh on me? You're not going to get it. I am starting to truly believe that you will not get the justice that you think you are deserved. What does everybody want? The SMU death penalty. Their postseason ban, or I would say franchise, their school, they'll never recover, right? People say that about SMU, then they'll never recover. It's Michigan. They'll be fine. They'll find a way through this. Trust me. And whether or not it's Jim Harbaugh there, whether he runs to the NFL or not, it's still Michigan. And yeah, I loved the years when they were down. I loved beating up on Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke and whoever else they ran up there. I enjoy that it's competitive. I don't like losing to Michigan. I hate it. I was there the Braxton Miller year. My buddies and I went up to the big house to watch Braxton Miller as a freshman with Luke Fickell filling in lose to Michigan. I hated it. But there's something to be said about it being competitive, because what is, for some of us, the greatest college football game we ever saw? 1 versus 2. You only get there if Michigan is number 2. So you have that kind of brewing for this game in a couple of weeks. And that's maybe my other fear and reason why I'm getting upset at this. It's going to start taking away from the game. This is going to be the storyline going into the Michigan-Ohio State game this year. And I'm going to sit down and be inundated with all of this, and especially if there is some sort of suspension for Harbaugh. Part of me, I don't want it to impact. I don't want that someone's bullcrap excuse. Oh, we lost the game because Harbaugh wasn't there. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather play Michigan at full strength. I don't want them sign stealing. We know they're not. It's annoying. It is very annoying to me. And I know that we really, I believe, have just scratched the surface of this. Because what's now going to happen? These other schools are really going to start getting involved. Now that they're trying to drag Purdue and Rutgers and Ohio State into this, now those teams have to defend themselves. And it'll start coming out even more about what they're doing. And the other thing, I think Ohio State runs a pretty clean program. I do. But there's no such thing as a 100% clean program. And you don't want the NCAA poking around, trying to investigate, talk to these people, because then all of a sudden you find other violations that are going on. And with how there are some people that I think like the conspiracy theories. How deep does this go? Do we have our conspiracy theory drop over there? How deep does this go? What did they know? I don't care.
Have you been?
I don't really care anymore. It's weighed me down so much.
Have you been keeping up with this whole Blake Corum thing with being in business with Connor Stallions?
So then they had to come out and talk to Blake Corum yesterday. And with NIL money, Blake Corum is probably well paid as a very popular player and playing for Michigan and all that kind of stuff. And he had to come out because there was an allegation that he was in business with Connor Stallions. And then he had to come out and say no. And he had to get his lawyers involved.
But yeah, so then they found his like Instagram picture from like a year ago of him basically announcing that he is part of an LLC. And now people are talking about maybe that's how they like Connor funded this operation.
Well, then did you see that other weird thing about Connor Stallion's house? That his HOA showed up and popped him for running a business out of his house, and there was his porch was filled with vacuums. Did you see that? Go look that up. Connor Stallion's house. Let me see if I can find the story. A photo of Connor Stallion's house in Ann Arbor goes viral. So we know he was the center of all of this. He was suspended and then eventually fired. A new photo has been revealed from Stallion's home in Ann Arbor. Can you Google it and try to maybe pull it up here real quick? If you Google it, I'll send you the article. Or maybe find it on Twitter. A photo has revealed his home displaying several vacuum cleaners on his front porch. Not long after Connor Stallion's moved to Ann Arbor in 2022, his HOA sued him for allegedly running a business out of his unit. Note the vacuums. In legal documents, Stallion said the suit was the design of a Michigan State fan trying to distract him from his job. This came out from the Wall Street Journal. In this picture, he's got a truck with what looks to be a trailer hooked up to it. And it looks like if you need a black market vacuum, you go over to Connor Stallion's house. He's got plenty on the lot for you. Ooh, 45 for that. I can't do 45 for that vacuum. Would you do 35?
Like Pawn Stars.
Selling vacuums. I would insert some joke about them sucking, but I didn't. That's even too lowbrow for us, right? Come on now. You know, they sell vacuums up there in Michigan because they suck. Like, how, dude, can I send it to you?
Yeah.
You want it on DM?
Yeah, whatever works.
All right, I'll send it to you on DM. You have to show the people this picture. It is absolutely insane. This came from Lane Higgins. He's a college reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Hang on. I'm DMing you this right now. Because when you see it, folks, this isn't like two vacuums. It's not like he's cleaning his house out. He's got like a shop vac and a regular vac. And he's just, it literally looks like if you want to buy a black market vacuum, you go get it at Connor Stallion's house. His house is a little bit of disrepair too. He's got some roof problems I can see from here. Truck looks a little beat up a little bit. I mean, it does. It looks like, oh my God, his air conditioning unit's not even on grade. What is this guy doing? And obviously, it's a nice enough neighborhood to have an HOA. Oh no, that's a generator. A generator's not even on grade, man. What are you doing? It's going to fall down the hill. You got to pick. Oh my God. Seriously. Ryan's pulling up the picture right now. It's like, where is this going? Is he fixing them up? Somebody on the tweet said that he was running a vacuum refurbishing company. So your vacuum breaks, so you're going to take it to Connor Stallions.
That is a lot of vacuums.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of vacuums, man. That's a lot of vacuums. It's getting weird. It's getting crazy. And the thing is, I'm losing patience with it. It's just all this weird stuff that's coming out. And I think people, don't get me wrong, people love sensationalized stories. They love being able to follow the news and be able to wake up every day. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people that Ohio State fans, they are invested in this. And probably more, there's the two biggest groups of people that are invested in this are Michigan fans and then Ohio State fans. Because Michigan fans are out there defending themselves or Harbaugh didn't do this, and Ohio State fans just want to watch Michigan burn. So you have these two fan bases that are every morning waking up and clicking. What's the latest news? What's going on? And I think the rest of the country is semi-interested because this is a top team. They could be in the college football playoff, and you don't want to see cheaters make it there. But it's like, I got to say, like, I'm sick of it. And I think it's partly because we're in Ohio. There are a lot of people that are taking this to an nth degree. And then I feel bad because I'm downplaying the severity of this. When maybe this is truly it's a big thing. This is a massive thing in the NCAA. And we want to jump on this and they need to serve justice. Or is this just, there's nothing else going on? This is the story right now. And people are diving into it. And it's drawn out, and it's going to continue to be drawn out. There's going to be subpoenas. There's going to be trials. There's going to be people talking. They're going to interview this person. And the rest of us, I'm sure, and again, I know for a fact that there are people out there saying, just shovel this on in. I want all of it. Give me it all. And I want to investigate all this, and I want to know everything that's going on. I cannot join you in that. I just can't do it. So our Twitter question is up, at Matt Fontana Show. Do you actually care what happens to Jim Harbaugh in Michigan? Do you want your pound of flesh? Do you want to know exactly what's going to happen to them? Or do you not care like me? That's our Twitter question up at Matt Fontana Show. Ryan, cast your vote. Do you care?
No, I don't really care and that's kind of for two reasons. The main reason is I'm wearing an Ohio State hoodie, ironic. I'm not the biggest Ohio State fan, so if I was, certainly it would be under my skin. But then at the same time, it's like, it's hard to put energy in something, really care about it when I know for a fact.
We know what they did. Yeah, I mean, I think that's another part where there seems to be a pretty smoking gun in this.
And it's like, realistically, what is going to be a punishment that we see fit? Nothing's going to really satisfy us in terms of what the punishment would be. And I mean, if you're Harbaugh, like, okay, you're probably done at Michigan. And I had a feeling that was kind of in the cards anyway soon. So is it really that bad for him? No. I mean, I don't know. He's going to go to the NFL and he's going to do the same thing he's been doing, except he's just going to coach an NFL team, not an NCAA team.
I mean, the other part of this is Michigan, are they going to ride this out with Harbaugh? Is there enough there where they're even sick of him up there? He was the guy, he turned the program around. He is pretty much Mr. Michigan, man. Is this something that even they would come down and go, all right, you're out of here. Let's go. Because you then look back on Harbaugh, and how much did he help turn the team around? The other part that people want to know, did it reach Harbaugh? Because that'll probably be one of the defenses that they'll try to say, well, he didn't know this was going on. Or you had no idea where this ended. Who was Connor Stallions talking to? Was he telling the DC? I mean, when you have video on the sidelines of the majority of the team pointing that the play is going this way, it's a little hard for the head coach not to go like, well, what are they doing that for? Wait, how do they know? Like, that seems pretty weak in itself. And then the other part, and another question I had, do you think this, I know you're not an Ohio State fan per se, Ryan, is this distracting Ohio State fans? I think it is. Ohio State fans care more about this than the game coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
It is distracting Ohio State fans from the fact that, again, in the college football playoff last night, you were number one. Like Schmidt, Warby, Yeerman, Jensen. You are number one. Get that reference? You're watching the right show. But I feel like this has now become the thing that Ohio State fans are grabbing on, when in reality, you have a team that is in the hunt for a national championship. And I know that Ohio State and playing, I don't know, Michigan State. Oh, it's a night game. That's right. They're wearing the grays. And then they got Minnesota. Do I need to be worried about Michigan State or Minnesota? No. This isn't the Penn State game this weekend. This isn't so. I get it. But Ohio State fans are so enthralled with this. What is going to happen in 2 weeks when it is Michigan week? Is this still going to be over our heads? Is there some sort of timeline here for the Big Ten? The final question you brought up a little earlier, what should they do? Truthfully, let's play that out. Everything that Connor Stallions did is true. He was on the sidelines in Central Michigan. He paid for those tickets for those people to go to games and videotape the sidelines. Those signs were then sent to the Michigan sidelines, and they were used to impact the game. And you could come up with a list, and you could say, these were all the games that they did that. Ryan, you are Tony Petitti. You're the Big Ten commissioner. What do you do?
The only thing I could think of is obviously, like we talked about earlier, vacating those wins. But at the end of the day, what does that really do? Like nothing for the program. Nobody's going to look at that and be like, oh, they had 12, 14, whatever it is, less wins. Nobody cares.
Postseason ban, that's costing them money for the NCAA. That impacts the college football rankings.
It's a double-edged sword.
And this is also something that you can do. Sign stealing is not illegal. It's just how they did it is illegal. And that, I think, could be the other part of it when you look at what Michigan might say. Well, we did it. We just did it in a different way. Okay, it was still wrong. It was still illegal to do that. But technically, sign stealing in itself is okay. How much weight does that carry? Does that matter to the NCAA? Because no matter what, the game has changed. Now that this is out, it's like Deflategate. When they caught Tom Brady with those deflated footballs, you want to know probably what never was going to be a problem in the NFL again? Deflated footballs. Because you brought attention to it. You pointed to it and said, look, you can't do this. I mean, just on that, they suspended Brady 4 games for that, did they not?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's pretty hot and heavy there from the NFL. Now, granted, these are different, but that's my saying, is if Harbaugh walks away from this scot-free, you could look at other violations that are nowhere. He got suspended this year for recruiting violations. This is worse. I will tell you that what he was doing was worse than any recruiting violations that he bought some pizza for some kids or something like that. Wasn't that what he was doing? I don't remember. This is what I get that. So if you want to start just on the base that he got suspended for doing some recruiting violations, what's he going to do with this? I don't know, man. I truthfully, I call me when it happens, man. And I will say this. I hope that they do this before the Ohio State-Michigan game. Because I don't want this to bleed over anymore. Today can be a big day. Today might actually be a semi-big day because Michigan's got to respond to the allegation of the Big Ten and all that other kind of stuff. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the day. We'll dive into some Browns when we return because I have the midseason report card out from the Browns on Jake Trotter did it on the Browns around the league. We'll get to that. And then Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano. I always love when they do their Week 10. They always go latest buzz, biggest trends, all that kind of stuff. And they bring up some top candidates for some open jobs, but then get into some of the Coach of the Year candidates. They do their midseason selection for that. And then also, Bill Barnwell ranked his MVP candidates and the rest of the awards, including Coach of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Where did Bill have Stefanski? Where did he have Myles Garrett? We'll talk about some of the MVPs. We'll dive into pro football. We'll do that next. We've got the Cavs tonight. They're in Oklahoma City. We'll get to our bets with Typico on that coming up. Our bracket continuing to roll on at Matt Fontana Show, the best music video of all time. Just kicking things off this morning right here on Big Play. Don't miss it, including 12 to 2 today. Big day for Chico. He's going to have Zach Meisel on to talk about Stephen Vogt as the new Guardians manager, and the Hall of Famer Joe Thomas will stop by on Chico's show from 12 to 2 today. Later tonight, we got Bruce Drennan with Bonus Time. Last night, Josh and Maria Cribbs. Who am I missing? Oh, Reflog and Mike Polk on. I know Mike was really busy yesterday with all the election stuff, so Mike Polk was on Reflog this week. You need to find it anywhere, folks. Go to Big Play on Twitter. Follow us there. We have a website, bigplay.com. You get all the merch right there, including our Stephen Vogt picture. Or, I'm sorry, picture. It is a picture, but a new Stephen Vogt t-shirt that you can get at Big Play. So check it out. Big Play's everything you need. Where you want it, when you want it, and how you want it. We're streaming video, streaming audio on the iHeart app. You want to take us wherever you're going, download the app. Just search Big Play. It's our very own channel. You get all of the shows. All of the shows run through right there on Big Play on our channel on iHeart. So check it out there. Back to pro football. We'll do that when we return. Big Play. Matt Fontana Show. Stay with us. All right, let's dive into some Browns right here on the Matt Fontana Show. Welcome back right here on Big Play. Big week for the Browns, man. Big week for the Browns. Back to work. I've already seen videos. I don't know why. I was on Twitter and I saw the Baltimore Ravens on my feed. I go, wait a minute. I don't follow the Ravens. I guess there's this new thing that you can, like, I follow the NFL. And it wasn't, like, retweeted from the NFL. It just, they were, like, together with the NFL or something. Social media sucks. But, like, I saw them on timeline, and I was like, oh, I don't follow them. But apparently the NFL somehow retweeted this. Anyway, so they're out to work, and this game is going to be massive this weekend. Deshaun Watson, back off the injury. You're facing the best team. This is one of these games. This is one of those games where you are going to have your test. You're going to stand up against the team that you got to go through to not only win the AFC North, if you still believe that that is a possibility. We'll discuss that at tomorrow's show. But a team that you very well might have to see in the playoffs. Things shake out how you think, you might have a first-round matchup. If Baltimore stays at 2 and you somehow slip down to that last wild card spot, you will be at M&T Bank Stadium on Wild Card Weekend to face the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson playing to an MVP level. They're piecing it together with that running back situation. A huge game. And I'm so excited for that. You know, as part of as being a fan, the watching of the games, when you sit down, there's that level. But sometimes the excitement and the days and week leading up to it is just as fun. And that's one of the things that I love the most about where the Cleveland Browns are at right now. I can truthfully get excited about every game. This isn't we're 1-7 and maybe going to fire the coach and we got to see if this quarterback's the right guy. You can go into every game, and I sure as hell go into this game on Sunday thinking the Browns have a chance to win, to solidify their playoff spot, to play one hell of a game, and just play that little chess match. There are areas the Browns are better than Baltimore, and there's certainly areas that Baltimore's much better than the Browns. How does that all play out? Those are the real exciting things for Sunday's game for the Cleveland Browns. We are at the midseason point, though, and across the league, they went through the midseason report card for every single team. Shout out to Jake Trotter. He is the NFL Nation reporter for the Cleveland Browns, and he wrote it up for Cleveland. Here we go. Their FPI rank, their Football Power Index rating, 12th. Think the Browns are the 12th best team in the NFL, Mark?
I think.
I'm going to write it down here. Is my
Off the top of the head, I'm comfortable with that.
Get my pen out here.
But yeah, we could run through it.
Sorry. Here we go. All right, teams better than the Browns. KC, Philly, Baltimore. Just shout them out as you go. Miami, Dallas, San Francisco. Yeah, probably. I would put them in there. Detroit. Pull up the rankings here. Standings, I should say. So FPI has them at 12. I'm trying to see.
Did you write Jaguars?
Jags.
I mean, I guess you can make a case for Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I think we got most of them. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's only 8. So that have the Browns 9. So they probably put 2 teams ahead of them, probably Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then maybe it better not be Minnesota. It better not be New Orleans. Better not be the Chargers. Buffalo? Maybe. So they come in at 12. Chances to make the playoffs, 54.6%. And a chance to win the division of 8.3. What we know about the Browns at the midseason. They have an elite defense. Cleveland is number 2 in the league in defensive efficiency, led by edge rusher Myles Garrett, who's among the front runners for Defensive Player of the Year. We'll get to that in a second. Their coverage has been tenacious, as Garrett has spearheaded one of the league's best cornerback tandems. Spearheaded by one of the best cornerback tandems in Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson. What we don't know yet, Deshaun Watson. Jake writes, if Deshaun Watson can be the franchise quarterback that propels Cleveland to a deep playoff run. Watson missed almost all of 4 games with the rotator cuff strain in his throwing shoulder. Before that, he hardly looked like a quarterback that he was with the Texans. But Watson is back now, made some nice throws in Sunday's win over the Cardinals, and where he goes from here will decide Cleveland's ultimate fate this season and beyond, as I've been saying. The stat that defined the first half, the Browns leaned on their defensive backs to hold up in man coverage, playing almost 54% of the time, and they have delivered. Cleveland is number 1 in the NFL in opposing QBR when in man coverage at just 18. The next closest, the Baltimore Ravens, and they're at a 27.5. So it'll be a lot of man defense being played here on Sunday. So I think that's the midseason report card from Jake Trotter. Ryan, let's you and I play a little midseason report card. A, B, C, or D. We're grading this out like we're in school. First up, offensive side of things. Offensive line. Grade for the Browns.
Just strictly offensive line?
Just the O-line. We're going to do all the position groups, and then we will come out team, maybe the coach.
Offensive line, I'll give them a C+.
C+, Ryan. I was going to go with a B. I think they've had to piece it together. You're concerned about Jedrick Wills. I understand that. I'll go B. Wide receiving core. I got to go. And that's tough because it's Amari Cooper and a discussion that we have had plenty of. That's a D.
Yeah.
That is a D.
I was going to go D.
That's
D+.
That's a D. Without a doubt, that is a D.
Yeah.
They have not had anybody outside of Amari Cooper step up. I was going to save this for later. Josh Gordon was trending on Twitter this morning. Now, it had a lot to do with issue 2 passing yesterday, now that marijuana is recreational and legal here in the state of Ohio, and oh yes, what his career could have been. Can I interest you in calling Josh Gordon? He's playing in the XFL right now. Or at least that's the roster of the team that he's on. He's 32 years old. Wow. Dallas just signed Martavis Bryant. He's coming off suspension.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in little Josh Gordon?
I'd listen.
I'd do it. D for both of us on the wide receiving core. Running backs, you got a grade on a curve with the running backs.
Yeah. I'll give with that curve, I'll give them a B.
Okay. I'll give them a B too. They've not been bad, but without Nick Chubb, what are you going to do? Tight ends. I mean, if we really want to get into it, C.
Yeah, I would say
C. I don't think anything's good there. All right, to the defensive side of some high grades here. D line, that is an A plus. They are batting 1,000 on that defensive line.
Plus for that.
Plus that. A plus across the board for the Cleveland Browns. Linebacker, young Ryan.
Linebacker's been interesting.
They're okay.
I'll give him a B.
I'll give him a B. I think that's a solid passing grade. Defensive backs.
A.
I think so, too. Special teams. Dustin Hopkins has been a beast. Corey Borkes on a career year, and Charlie Hewlett's as steady as ever. I think that's also a very solid A.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt.
Kevin Stefanski. Now, this will get a little dicey with some people out there. Because Kevin Stefanski, there will be people that he will never deserve an A in their mind. He will never deserve an A. Folks, I'm here to tell you that he gets an A for this first part of the season. You are 5-3. You won games with P.J. Walker in there. You've had to be without all the injuries that we know. And we'll talk about this. We're going to get to this next. The award pick from Bill Barnwell and even Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler. I don't think Kevin Stefanski is going to win Coach of the Year. I think there's a lot more that goes into that award than sometimes meets the eye. But he deserves credit. And he deserves, I think, a nomination. Like, if you were to say, here are the 3 finalists for Coach of the Year, I think he deserves a finalist nod. He gets an A in my book. And if you want to be critical on some in-game play calling, or you want to get critical about some, small things, sure. And I understand some of them. There are calls that I don't always like either. Kevin Stefanski, without a doubt, deserves an A on this football team for the job that he has done. Ryan, cast your vote. Midseason report card here.
I'm giving him an A as well, Matt.
Yeah.
No, can't disagree.
So really, as it kind of lays out, the lowest grade that we gave here was the receiving core at a D. Tight ends were a C. Offensive line, oh. We didn't do the quarterback. Ryan, the quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns.
That's tough, but I mean.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay, D.
That's an F. That's an F. That's an F. It is. Injuries, guess you really can't game plan for that. The reason that is an F and a giant failure at this point, Ryan, is because how they handled Deshaun Watson's shoulder. We are beyond it, thank God, for now. We don't want to look back on it, sure. But now that I can and understand how it went, the handling of that was so bad. And if people want to come back and say that F is unfair because what you got out of P.J. Walker and you were able to win those games, you know what you saw with PJ Walker. And you know that in most games, the way that he played, you would not have won those games. I think that deserves credit for the defense and maybe even a little bit of Stefanski, but the quarterback position has been a giant failure this season for the Cleveland Browns. The positive to take out of that is here I am failing the quarterback, and you are still in a playoff spot right now. The majority of teams, if you would have given him an F, you would not be in this position. There's no way you'd be even sniffing the playoffs. I have to give him a giant F. I do on the midseason report card for us here. Tweet your votes. Tweet your grades, if you will. At Matt Fontana 83, at Matt Fontana Show, and at Ryan Tyler 33. I head over to Bill Barnwell. So Bill Barnwell put this out a couple of days ago, and it is his mid-season MVP candidates and award picks through week 9 of the 2023 season. I start with the first one he has up, Coach of the Year. Nick Sirianni at 3, Dan Campbell at 2, Mike Tomlin at number 1. Okay. And he says, if you've read this column for a few years, you know, like me, I like rationality. I want to understand what's helping teams win or causing them to lose. I want there to be clean things and clean reasons things are occurring. Football's complicated, but if you look hard enough, you can usually find reasons to explain why things are going bad. And then he goes, then there's the Steelers, who are ranked 29th in the league in QBR. Their lead running back is averaging 3.8 yards per carry, whose defense is good, but 12th in the league in points per game. His whole reason for putting Mike Tomlin at Coach of the Year is that the Steelers have an average team that are playing above average. Okay, fine. Mike Tomlin's very polarizing in Pittsburgh. There are plenty of people that want him fired. Kevin Stefanski deserves to be in that running. Okay, Nick Sirianni's in it because he has the best team in football. Dan Campbell's in there because he is the flavor of the month, and Lions are all this or that. But I'm just telling you, man, they're subject. Lions are a little subject right now. They're not quite the team I think everybody thought they were. So I think that's a little bit of a disrespect for Coach of the Year. Now I head over to Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano. They do their Week 10 preparation. They asked who's their midseason pick for the Coach of the Year. Jeremy Fowler says, let's start with the AFC North. Mike Tomlin has got an offensively challenged Steelers to 5-3, and he is going to go with co-Coach of the Year to John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski. Harbaugh, a bold decision maker, walking away from good coordinators in back-to-back years to revamp both sides of the football. The Ravens are humming right now. Fowler writes, meanwhile, Stefanski's big bet on Jim Schwartz has paid off. The Browns are 5-3 without Nick Chubb and without Deshaun Watson for nearly 5 games, the injuries across the offensive line. And here we are. Graziano, I'm with you on the Stefanski evaluation. He's been handed a tough situation with Watson and has stayed steady throughout. If the Browns make a second half run, and that includes potentially beating the Baltimore Ravens this weekend, he has to get some attention here. Graziano says Mike McDaniel in Miami and Dan Campbell in Detroit are the other options here. So as I write all that up to say, it sounds like your Coach of the Year will come down to Sirianni, Campbell, Stefanski, I guess maybe Mike McDaniel, I guess maybe John Harbaugh. I would maybe throw a bone at Kyle Shanahan, but they've lost 3 straight, so I think that might take him out of the running. All that to say, I think Kevin Stefanski is in this. Now, they bring up one other name, Kevin O'Connell, right, for the job that they're doing now in Minnesota. That was one win. I think that'll shake itself out there with Minnesota. But the Coach of the Year award normally goes to a team that was destitute that you turned around. Kevin Stefanski did that when he won it in 2020. Brian Daboll, all that. Who is that this year? And you would say probably Dan Campbell. But the way that Detroit ended the season last year, they went into the last week with a chance to, wasn't that the Green Bay game where they had the chance to?
Yeah, they stopped Green Bay from going to the playoffs.
Right, and they went themselves. You can't really buy that. There's no team out there that was 4-13 last year and now all of a sudden are in the playoff. So you take that out because that is silver platter. Here's your Coach of the Year. That is laid up your Coach of the Year. Here it goes. They don't have that. And it's part of the reason that Mike Tomlin has never won Coach of the Year. There's a stat for you. Mike Tomlin has never won the NFL Coach of the Year. Why? Because the Steelers were never bad enough for him to turn it around to win that Coach of the Year. That is the first mark of winning that award. Now, beyond that, that's where this year, what weighs more? You have the best team or you have meant the most to your team? And I think that's where the voters on the AP are going to have to decide. If you vote for coaches that have helped their team the most, Kevin Stefanski deserves some votes. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he deserves some votes in that. The rest of Bill Barnwell's article, midseason award predictions for the NFL. We scroll down. Next up, I don't really care about Offensive Rookie of the Year. Do you? Because it's CJ Stroud. That's not going to be a question. Defensive Rookie of the Year. That will be Devin Witherspoon of the Seahawks.
You think so? What about Jalen Carter?
He had him at 2. I mean, okay, the knock on Jalen Carter will be he plays on this Eagles defense with everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Devin Witherspoon's made some big plays, and obviously we saw him just a couple weeks ago. Defensive Player of the Year. Number 3, TJ Watt. Number 2, Max Crosby. And at number 1, Myles Garrett. Bill Barnwell writes, maybe it's too simple to just give this award to the best player on the best defense, but in terms of pass rushing production, there's nobody better than Myles Garrett. 9.5 sacks, 27 pressures on 188 rushes. That is ops per sack, 19.8. So basically, every 20 plays, he gets a sack. Every 20 times that he rushes the passer, he gets a sack. The next closest on this list is TJ Watt. He's at 26. So Myles Garrett is getting sacks better than anybody. He ranks second among edge rushers in pass rush win rate, despite being double teamed at the second highest rate in the NFL. The guy ahead of him on both those lists, who do you think it is? The best pass rush win rate, despite being double teamed the most in the NFL.
And this is between who?
So Myles Garrett is 2 on both of those lists. So he gets double teamed the second most amount of times in the NFL, but he has the second best pass rush win rate. Number 1 on both of those lists are the same guy.
Nick Bosa?
No.
Oh.
Also an NFC team.
Micah
Parsons. So Micah Parsons gets double teamed more than anybody, and yet he still has the best pass rush and win rate in the NFL. So really, it's kind of shocking that they don't have Micah Parsons on this list. I guess it would probably be he only has 7.5 sacks. He's got 34 pressures, though. That's pretty good. A sneaky one for me is Max Crosby. Because, I mean, you watch him on that Raiders defense and that Monday night game. I mean, he is a game wrecker as well. But I do go with what Bill Barnwell put there. You go with the best player on the best defense, and that is clearly very much Myles Garrett. Offensive Player of the Year. Tyreek Hill, I think, has that pretty much locked up. Your MVP in the book of Bill Barnwell. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Number 1, Lamar Jackson. We will see him this weekend. He leads the league in completion percentage at near 72%, despite throwing downfield at one of the highest rates. Because I think that was some people like, oh, this completion rate, he throws it 5 yards. No. We started this year early, wondering if Todd Monken, would get it figured out, and oh boy, has he. That's a little afraid. Oh my God. That's a little scary and makes me a little afraid to watch. Lamar averages a league-high 10 yards per throw off of play action. The good news is, and I know that this is a prior generation, I don't read any. The other thing, and we'll get into this conversation getting ready for Sunday, I read nothing into that first Browns game against the Ravens. You had DTR start, and what'd you want to do? But the Browns in the past, with Joe Woods, I know that's different, but you have some of the same players here. They have limited Lamar on that play action, and they've really kind of stuck it to Lamar. Sunday's game, you're going to need to do that again. But Lamar Jackson, your front runner, the MVP, I think is a pretty fair assessment. I do. So with the Browns, the grades, I think right now with where they're at, you're content. You are content with where they're at. Again, FPI has them at 12. I see power rankings 15, 13, 12. You want to sneak with the top 10. That's fine. I think that's where they deserve to be. We do our grades here. We just did the midseason report card. As a team, Ryan, would you give the Browns an A?
I'd give them a B+.
That's fair enough too.
A B+.
But you circle some of these positions where I gave a D to the receiving core and I said F for the quarterbacks. You're winning despite of the quarterbacks right now. Now, Sunday was different. Sunday, you won in part because of Deshaun Watson. I flushed that game because it was the Arizona Cardinals, and they're a steaming pile of crap. They're not good. You win Sunday because of Deshaun Watson. Then we're having a very big conversation about where this team is going to go. I was happy that Deshaun Watson played against the Arizona Cardinals because I wanted him to get some reps and knock the rust off. Because come Sunday, the win is the most important and always will be. But the evaluation of Deshaun Watson on Sunday is going to go a long way for me. You're facing the Baltimore Ravens, who, as we always know, are big and physical. They lead the NFL in sacks. They have players on that defense that are going to make things really hard for Deshaun Watson. I will read into Sunday's game more than any game that I ever have with Deshaun Watson. Because that's how much it means. He is back. He is healthy. And if you want to make a statement and do the things that you expect to do, you win this game Sunday, and you win this game because of Deshaun Watson. I need the defense to show up. I need to run the football. Sure. The whole reason that Deshaun Watson is here is for him to go win a game like this on Sunday. And I need to see it. I'm not guaranteeing the Browns are going to win. And they might not. But part of Sunday will be a big evaluation of Deshaun Watson. You want to tell me that that's unfair because he just came off the injury? I am not listening to that. That's why I needed him to play against Arizona. Well, the shoulder's still a thing. Not from what I've heard. The shoulder's good. We're good to go. He's out there playing. Well, he doesn't have Nick Chubb, and he doesn't have now Jedrick Wills and the receiving core. I don't care. I don't care. Because my evaluation of it is time. Just as I had finally approached a break point when it came to Deshaun Watson's shoulder, I said, I'm sick of this crap, put him out there. That's what happened Sunday. You now know what I'm at? A break point of I'm sick of this crap of if he's going to be the quarterback or not and be the guy that we're supposed to take us places. Sunday is now my break point on that. And I will not apologize for it because we will do this show on Monday, and I'm going to either be ruthless when it comes to Deshaun Watson or I'm going to give him the praise that he deserves, and it all depends on how he plays. He could go out and throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and our defense melts, and we lose a shootout. We'll have that conversation. Because, again, I'm not saying that the win is not the most important thing. But I'm putting everything on Deshaun Watson Sunday. Every single thing that I have for the Cleveland Browns on Sunday rests on the shoulder of Deshaun Watson. That's what he's here to do. Frankly, that's what he's paid to do. And that's what I want to see on Sunday. I hope it happens. All right, when we come back, we'll get to the morning update. Got a lot of news around. Don't forget, hour 2, we'll get to our bets with Tipico. We'll update our Twitter question as well. It's up at Matt Fontana Show. We're asking everybody, do you care what happens to Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines? Do you care? Do you want to see them go down? Are you invested in this? Really interesting results. We'll get to that coming up in hour 2. We got Time Hop. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Tipico is where we bet, though. I didn't even check. I said I was going to check, and I didn't. So I'm on this college basketball, I would say maybe heater. So what I do is I just take all the biggest favorites of the night, and I put them in a parlay. Let's see if we hit last night, Ryan. No! No.
What did we miss out? Who failed you?
DePaul lost to Fort Wayne, and Vanderbilt lost to Presbyterian. Vanderbilt was a minus 5,000, and they lost.
I'm going to have to add them to the wall behind me.
But VCU, you see, bring that camera up, Brian. Yeah. DePaul goes on there. Oh, I lost my Maction bet, too. I had a boost. Western Ohio and Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois fell to Ball State. I should have known. Damn Cardinals. Anyway, get signed up with Tipico. It's easy, folks. You download the app, you go to the website, use that code BigPlay150. You're going to get bonus bets when you deposit $50. You can get in the action for tonight. Cavs, a 2.5-point road favorite against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here's what I love doing. Pizza money. $5. $10. And you sit down, you watch the game, you enjoy it. We're all Cavs fans here. You root for the Cavs to get it done. We'll get into our, projections. Like, we'll get into some trends later. But even some boosts. And I love this about Tipico. You just click right on the top, and here are boosts for tonight. For hockey, we have college football tonight. We have the action going on. Would you think Akron and Miami, 50 total points? Do you think that'll happen between the Red Hawks? Or no, I'm sorry. Did they change their name? Is it the Miami Red Hawks?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The Akron Zips, plus 280 there. Think that'll happen?
I feel like you can always count on the spread Hawks.
Okay. NBA tonight. Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Bruce Brown, each to record 2 or more 3-point shots. That's a boost for tonight. We don't have a boost for the Cavs game, which I think is interesting. Maybe we'll get one of those getting rolling for a little bit later. Get on there. Download the app. Use that code Tipico. Reflog's got a link on his website as well, or on his Twitter as well. And then they just do regular, parlays. They have pre-made parlays. Maybe we'll do a little parlay tonight for the Cavs. Quick same-game parlays. Okay. Quick same-game parlay on Tipico. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen each to get 10 rebounds tonight. 289. Ooh. How about a 3-point boost? Darius Garland, 2. Max Strus, 3. Donovan Mitchell, 4. 3-point shots made tonight. That is plus 595. I kind of like that. Shai and Donovan, each to score 30, plus 300. There's a lot. I love this. Darius Garland, 7 assists, score 20, and the Cavs win is plus 547. He's come off that injury well. You know what, Ryan? I'm in on that one. Garland, 7 assists, Cavs money line, Darius Garland to score 20. I'm in on that. I like that. I just placed that bet on Tipico. Download the app, use it, use that code BigPlay150 when you get signed up, get those bonus bets. Let's catch a break. We come back, we got the morning update for you. We'll update our Twitter question, a lot more football to dive into as well. Stay with us. Big Play. We're streaming Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and of course on the iHeart app. This is the Matt Fontana Show, taking you up till 9 or to 11 a.m. We start at 9. We take you up till 11. Back right after this. All right, morning update time on a Wednesday edition. We got all the stories you got to know. Ryan Tyler has them. Take it away, Ryan.
Alrighty, well, for those that are just joining us now, we discussed Kevin Stefanski and Coach of the Year odds, and for some people, he's up there because of the situations that he's had to deal with. But Matt, I want to start off morning update with a trivia question that I think you'll like, and I think you have a good option to get it.
Yes.
So since 2012, there's only been 2 coaches that have won 2 Coach of the Year awards in that time period. Can you name them?
Okay. Bill Belichick would seem to be one, but I don't think he is.
Nope.
He's not. Andy Reid?
No, surprisingly.
Okay. All right. Harbaugh.
So both Jim and John have one, but neither one of them have 2.
2 since 2012.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
One of them is still a head coach.
Okay.
However,
it's not Riverboat Ron.
It's Riverboat
Ron. All right, so that's one. Okay, the year they went to the Super Bowl, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
He got 2 in Carolina.
Okay.
And one more.
So there's one more that obviously is not a coach.
I'm not sure if he's on a staff somewhere, but I know for sure he's not a head coach.
He's not a head coach.
I haven't heard his name in quite a while.
It's a damn. You know me, I love trivia too.
NFC team.
NFC team. Not Jason Garrett.
No.
No.
I think he did win one, though.
I think he did win one, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I don't know.
Bruce Arians.
Oh, yeah, good call. Yeah, I would not have gotten that. Bruce Arians, well done.
Isn't that kind of, that's fun.
It is. I mean, I think Stefanski just being in that conversation. Because do you want to know what I truthfully need, Ryan? It's the same thing with Deshaun Watson. I just need a top 10 head coach, right? When you sit down and you talk about the nitty gritty of, Kyle Shanahan versus Nick Sirianni versus Mike McDaniel, just give me one of them, right? It's like quarterbacks. Yeah, we'd like to have Patrick Mahomes. I just want Deshaun Watson to be in the conversation. The best head coach and the best quarterback don't always win the Super Bowl. Now, I guess Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes would probably tell you different on that. They give you the best look at it, but that's my thing with Stefanski. I would tell you right now, he's not the best coach in football. He's not, but he's also not the worst, and he's not even close to being in the second half of the league. I just need Kevin Stefanski annually to be considered one of the best head coaches in football, and I don't know why he doesn't get that respect. I don't. It's early in his tenure. I understand that. They only have one playoff game win, which he wasn't even a part of. I understand that. But even in his own town, the coach will always be a polarizing thing. Because when you go for it on 4th down and people don't like that, when you make this play call here, I get it. He is a top 10 coach in the NFL. I'm sorry. I just think he is. And that's all I need him to be. So even going to try to win Coach of the Year, as long as he's in the conversation, that's good enough for me. And frankly, that's probably good enough for the organization. As much as people want him jettisoned out of here, call me with who you're going to hire first. Before you want to run Kevin Stefanski out of town, you let me know who you're going to bring in. And as long as that person can be either at or above the level that Kevin Stefanski is, we'll have that conversation. But why throw it away? Would anybody argue with me that Kevin Stefanski is not a top 10 coach in the NFL? Anybody? Okay.
There definitely are.
No. So what I'm saying is, can you find a guy that you are for sure going to replace him with that will also be a top 10 coach in the NFL? If you can't guarantee me that, then don't even go down that path. And I understand people just bitch because they like to bitch. And they just have something that they want to grab onto and they want to be annoyed about. If it's him, that's fine. He's top 10 in the league. That's all I ask for. That's frankly all I need. I don't need him to win it, but I think he deserves it. Again, as long as he's in the conversation, that's all I need, and he is there. So well done on his part.
Alrighty, well, speaking of names that I have not heard in quite a while, our long-lost Cleveland legend, if you want to call him that, Grady Sizemore, is set to join Pedro Grifal's staff as an outfield and base running coach for the White Sox, staying in the AL Central here.
Good for Grady. I mean, the thing is, one of maybe the biggest in all of sports, but certainly in Cleveland, of what if, right? The injuries. That year with Grady, I want to pull this up. I mean, he was a perennial 2020 guy, silver slugger, could hit for power, had the speed, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover. It was 08. He was an All-Star, a Gold Glover, and a silver slugger. He had a sprained ankle, came back from there, participated in the home run derby. Let me just pull up his 08 season. Let's see if I can find this. They have his stats up here. Sorry. In 2008, in 157 games, batted .268, 33 home runs, 90 RBIs, and 38 stolen bases. 10th in the MVP, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, and an All-Star. He had 3 straight years of being top 12 in the MVP voting. What if? And I'll tell you, it's one of the things that's like burned into my memory. It's just being a Cleveland fan. When he came back, the first game off that knee surgery, he slid into second base, stood up, and I go, oh my God, he did it again. And he had to have those microfracture surgeries, and just never the same. Never the same. But obviously a beloved player here, certainly. I'm kind of shocked it took him that long to get into coaching, you know?
Yeah, last played for the Rays in 2015.
He's 41. That makes me feel old. Grady's ladies, man. They were certainly a thing.
Alrighty, well, into the basketball world, the Cavs tip off against Oklahoma City Thunder.
Dude, I love this, man. I love having games that I can look at, like the Cavs. Literally, last night sucked. I had no hockey to watch. I had no basketball to watch. I didn't watch Maction. I should have got in on that. I'm super excited. 8 o'clock tonight against Oklahoma City. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And they beat us earlier this year. I'm excited to once again. But Isaac Okoro is listed as out. That does not bode well for us. Bodes
I'm a little
well
worried
for
about
Shy,
that.
so we'll see if we can pull off that one.
Yeah.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. No, you go.
No,
It's your segment, Ryan. You go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to go on, so if you have anything else, Cavs,
Oh, no,
please.
plenty of Cavs. So here's where I'm at. I think this is like another. It's weird for me that 5 games in, I feel like this is a new version of the Cavs, but they're healthy. Relative. I hate the Okoro injury. I hope it's not long term. You got Garland and Jared Allen back. I feel like this version of the Cavs. And I feel the momentum a little bit. They're a younger team, so momentum is a big thing. And I think tonight they want to go in and avenge. It was only a 3-point loss, and that's as simple as I want to look at it. They lost 3 points to the Thunder. What was that, a week or 2 ago? And you didn't have. I want to pull up the box score. So it's your second game of the season. That was a fun game. Donovan goes off for 43. You did not have Darius Garland, and you did not have Jared Allen in that game. Tonight, both those guys are back. Karis LeVert's going to play. I know, again, it sucks that Okoro's not going to play, but I think they got it tonight. It's 2-point spread on Tipico. We've already placed our bets. I feel like the Cavs will get it done. We'll get into some trends a little bit later, but I feel like this team wants to right that wrong a little bit and jump on a little bit of momentum. Can I hijack your segment for just a second, Ryan?
Go for it.
Because on ESPN this morning, they ranked the 25 best players under the age of 25. Number 1, Luka. He's only 24. He'll be 25 very soon. Anthony Edwards is 2. Victor Wembanyama is 3. Okay. Tyrese Halliburton, Ja Morant, Cade Cunningham, Zion. At number 8, Darius Garland, who is 23 years old, 285 days, by the way, for those counting. And at number 12, Evan Mobley, 22 years old. So he'll be on this list for quite some time. Hold on to that, because I want to read what Kevin Pelton wrote about Darius and about Evan Mobley. Because there's this Evan Mobley thing that's just kind of been like, it's like there. People are expecting this jump. We're, 8 games into this season, and people are starting to be afraid that Evan Mobley is not what you expected him to be. Averaging 15 points per game, you'd like him up. We'll get into that conversation. I want to read that, but you had 2 Cavs on the list of the best 25 players under the age of 25. We'll read into that after we wrap up the morning update, but plenty more stories to go. Ryan, take it away.
Alrighty, well, shout out Jimmy Watkins for this article from Cleveland.com. Into the Buckeyes, Kyle McCord ranks 26th through 9 weeks this season, which is neither bad nor a historical outlier among CFP champions. Since the playoff format began in 2014, 3 national champions out of the 9 that we've had have been led by quarterbacks who finished a season ranked lower in EPA than McCord does now. Matt, can you see a world where we see Kyle McCord leading the Buckeyes to a national championship?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you can run the football the way that Travion Henderson is running it, and you just throw it to Marvin Harrison, sure. I think the best thing about Ohio State are their weapons. Marvin Harrison, Cade Stover is very good, and Travion Henderson, Emeka Ibuka, Julian, like they have the weapons. So if Kyle McCord can just not turn the football over, it's that simple. The defense is what I have true questions about. And okay, they played better against Penn State. They've been playing better as the season goes on. I can't read much into Michigan State or Minnesota, but come November 25th at noon, is it in the big house this year? I think it is. No, it's Columbus. Ohio State, Michigan. That is an offense that I will read into. That is an offense that I will look at and say, can you stop these guys? With Kyle McCord, yeah, the college football playoff, you have your Trevor Lawrences and your Justin Fields and sometimes, but yeah, it's been Stetson Bennett, who's not been all that. It's been Max Duggan at TCU, who made it last year and didn't win it. I know that. Quarterback is a piece to the pie, but even if you wanted to go with it right now, let's say that you went with the top 4 teams that came out last night. So you have Kyle McCord, Carson Beck, J.J. McCarthy, and Jordan Travis. Those are your 4 quarterbacks in the college football playoff. Rank them for me, Ryan. I don't think there's any question on number 1.
Yeah, Jordan Travis. I would go Jordan Travis, J.J. McCarthy. I guess Carson Beck McCord, although that could honestly
I think
be,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, it's Jordan Travis, J.J. McCarthy 1 2. And then I agree, Carson Beck, Kyle McCord. That's kind of how it's been, though, right? Like, Caleb Williams has not made the playoff. Like, a lot of these star guys, Michael Penix might not find himself in that. I mean, I guess he could, but he's going to have to wait for Ohio State, Michigan to finish it out. So, yeah, I mean, could Kyle McCord win a national championship? Sure. Would it be because of Kyle McCord? I don't know.
Yeah, so the 3 other quarterbacks. So Kyle McCord has his EPA rank right now is 26th, and Ohio State has the 3rd best defense. Stetson Bennett in 2021 had a EPA rank of 33rd with the 2nd best defense in the nation. Jalen Hurts, who was actually benched at the halftime of the title game in 2017, his EPA rank was 34th, but he had the 1st best defense in the nation.
Sure.
And Matt, can you tell me who the quarterback was for Alabama in 2015, whose EPA was 58th? Who got the national championship win?
2015, that would have been A.J. McCarron, right?
No. To be honest with you, I would have had no idea.
Let me guess here. 2015.
If I'm being completely honest with you, Matt, I haven't even heard of this guy.
Really?
Granted, I would have been 14, so I wasn't in tune to college football yet.
Greg McElroy was 2 earlier. No. McElroy, McCarron.
If it helps, this is when Derrick Henry ran for 2,200 yards.
That doesn't really help. Alabama quarterback in 2015. I don't know.
Jacob Coker.
Oh, yeah. Jacob. I forgot about him. As probably aptly so.
Jacob Coker.
There you go. I mean, yeah, that's college football. I don't want to say you can hide a bad quarterback, but again, if Ohio State wins a national championship, I doubt it will be because of Kyle McCord. Now, they could lose a national championship because of Kyle McCord. His job is pretty clear. Now that Travion Henderson is back and healthy, we are going to run the football. I still think the offensive line is a little shaky there for the Buckeyes, but we are going to throw to Cade Stover, we are going to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr., and we are going to have to play good defense. Now, the issue is the defense has been banged up. I'm really going to watch over the next couple of weeks the injury report for the Buckeyes. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind maybe some of these guys taking a game off here or there to get ready for Michigan. And I guess you blank around, or, you mess around, you find out, take care of business. Let me put it this way. Go try to put 48 up on Michigan State and Minnesota in the first half and rest some of these guys. That's Ryan Day's number 1 thing. While also fighting, I guess, maybe this Michigan stuff. But nonetheless, I think that's objective number 1 for the next couple weeks. Get these guys some rest.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, that's it for Morning Update here on this Wednesday.
Let's get into this Tony 5 under 25. So ESPN put this out this morning. with their ESPN NBA insiders, Tim Bontemps, Bobby Marks, Kevin Pelton, and Andre Snellings, ranked their top 25 players under 25 on their future potential. So that's why Victor Wembanyama is 3. They are projecting this on future potential. So again, Luka is 1, Anthony Edwards 2, Wembanyama 3. How about Tyrese Halliburton? And we just saw him the other night. He's really become one of the best distributors in the NBA. I lost a parlay on him. Urgh! I had a nice savory little parlay cooked up. Maybe I'll do one tonight. And I missed Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, no, I take it back. You want to know what? I had him at 15 points or over, and he hit the over only because he hit those free throws late, which then screwed my parlay because I had the Cavs winning.
Oh.
And they had every business to win that game against Indiana, but we move on. Tyrese Halliburton 4, John Morant at 5, Cade Cunningham at 6, Zion at 7. Can you believe Zion is still only 23 years old?
Yeah.
Huh. Darius Garland is at 8. Kevin Pelton writes, sharing a backcourt with newcomer Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland demonstrated he can play at an all-star level, seeing no decline in his scoring average thanks to a career-best 41% accuracy from three-point range a year ago. Postseason success is the next step for Garland. He had 32 points and 7 assists in Cleveland's first playoff victory since the LeBron years, but shot just 44% overall in the Cavs' first-round loss to the Knicks. I don't put that loss on Darius Garland. There's a lot of reasons that you put onto it, but as Kevin Pelton writes, to up this list a little bit, you turn to see what Darius Garland is at. I think Darius Garland being 8 is great. That's awesome. Are you bothered that Evan Mobley is 12? Averaging this year 15 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Kevin Pelton's right up. In year 2, Mobley began to realize his potential as a game-wrecking defender who can both protect the rim and switch on any opponent. After finishing 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year voting, Mobley must add the offensive skills in order to thrive alongside Jarrett Allen. Mobley shot just 22% on threes last year, and his scoring average is still improved thanks to a 60% accuracy inside the arc. So if you can get me on Evan Mobley shooting 60% inside the three-point, that's all I need. I think if anything for Evan Mobley, it's that 12 to 18-footer that you're looking at. If he can add that to his game. We know that now, and his dunks, he was one of the, he had 3 dunks per game last year. That was tops in the NBA. And it's not just lob dunks from Mobley, or I'm sorry, from Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, which help. It's that he's getting to the rim and he's wrecking it, okay? What I need is that 10 to 12 to maybe even 14-footer. Outside of that, and Ryan, that's not what he's hitting right now. I believe he's below 20% shooting, or somewhere around 20% shooting in that range. And I think that is what is hurting Evan Mobley right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at people with his body type, obviously Joel Embiid's a little bit more built, but he has that outside shot to him. Nikola Jokic has that outside shot to him. And even now younger guys, Wembanyama has a very nice clip. And Chet Holmgren is hitting mid-rangers like he's been doing his whole life, which he has. So it is kind of frustrating. There's obviously a lot of season to go, but it is that element that's holding him back, and a lot of people are already concerned about it. However, I'll give him another month. I think that's fair. And if he can really step his game up, then he's going to take his game to the next level, and he's going to earn himself a crazy contract.
That was going to be my question. Have you at all changed your outlook, your opinion on Evan Mobley? And it's not just right now this season. It's in totality. What you've seen through 3 years. He's now entering year 3. Has he had the ascension that you've expected? What I think has actually hurt him in a way has helped the Cavs. Because if the Cavs were a really, really bad basketball team, it would look really good that Evan Mobley put up all these gaudy numbers and improved the team. The difference is the Cavs are good, and he's right now playing third fiddle on a good basketball team. So you have to take that into account when you try to look at what Evan Mobley is or who he is or what you project him to be. I still think the Cavs' future is tied to Evan Mobley, not Donovan Mitchell, or Darius Garland for that matter. I think the Cavs in the next, not this year, not next year, but 3 years from now, you will be as good as Evan Mobley is. So I'm going to afford him that time to find a way to get it done. There's also that level. They'll never run it through him. And maybe there's a world he's not that guy. Maybe there's a world that he will always be your second or third best player, and he's just going to be known more as a defensive player that can get you 20 sometimes when you need him. He's not Kevin Durant. He's not Giannis. As much as those comparisons were made, maybe prematurely, maybe he's just not that. That'd be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a unfortunately more realistic scenario than we want to accept. I think there's only really been one game that we've seen him take over, and that's pretty much because we were limited without Darius, without Jarrett. So to your point, that's absolutely right. When you see like Victor, the Spurs, he's obviously their number one.
They just give him the ball. Like, they're just like, go out there and figure it out. It's a little like a quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. Imagine that you have this young quarterback that comes in on a good team, and they're not throwing it 50 times. Quarterback's different because it's the most important position in sports. But you get what I'm saying? You'd almost rather be on a crappy team and say, take every shot. Figure it out. That's not where the Cavs are at. And I guess year one, maybe a little bit. But last year, it accelerated things. You got Donovan Mitchell. And I guess give credit to Evan Mobley that he's found his spot, he's found his role, and he's not a malcontent about it.
Yeah. I mean,
we got time. I guess that's my thing on Mobley's. We have time.
Yeah, I mean, he's so young still.
He's so young. They'll figure it out.
And you go look at like Giannis and Jokic are two.
Giannis wasn't anything in his first couple of years.
You go look at their first 3 seasons in the league, and they're almost eerily similar to what Mobley has done thus far. Obviously, somebody like Jokic has much better 3-point percentage, but the numbers that they put up their first 3 seasons weren't these mind-boggling numbers. And I mean, that's because Giannis wasn't a high draft pick like Mobley. He was still first round, but wasn't there. And then Jokic was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. So, like, they didn't have this pressure on him or all these eyes on him. They just developed into their game eventually, and they became these all-stars.
My biggest thing is he has the body type that you ask for. And I know that on this list, like as far as the 25 under 25, right? Your number one guy is Luka. That's a body type that you kind of want. Then you go guard with Anthony Edwards. Then you have Wembanyama. Then another guard. Then a guard with Morant, Halliburton. Cade Cunningham's a point guard. There's a lot of guards on this list. LaMelo was 9.
Do you know what Chet is?
I can find it quick for you. I know he's on the list. Oh, he was 13. He was only one spot behind Mobley. I mean, that's another thing too, man. Like, look what he's done in a quick amount of time. That you go, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
But the same thing, like Chet Holmgren, like and Luka and Evan Mobley, they're all kind of you drafted the body type. Now you got to get the applicable skills. Now maybe Holmgren had more of the skills. That's probably why he was the first overall. Was he the first overall pick? No. Chet?
I don't remember who was in that draft.
It was just last year. I think he was number 1, wasn't he? He had to have been. No, second. 2022. Oh yeah. Paolo Banchero won 1. But same thing. Yeah. Paolo Banchero was like almost 7 feet tall.
Wait, what's Paolo on that list?
Great question. 14.
Wow.
14.
I think Paolo's better than that.
So Mobley goes 12, Holmgren goes 13, Paolo goes 14, Scotty Barnes 15, Franz Wagner 16, Jalen Williams 17, Josh Giddey 18, Jalen Green 19, Walker Kessler 20, Tyler Hero 22, Scoot Henderson 23. That's about it. So, how old's Shai? I mean, obviously, he's over 25. Oh, he is exactly 25. He just turned 25 in July. So, he didn't make the list. But still, I mean, I'm going to give him time. You drafted the body type. Hopefully, you'll get maybe some of the stats. You got to build it up just a little bit. We'll see. All right, let's jump into Time Hop when we return. I got a couple of movies for young Ryan to get onto today. We'll revisit our Michigan-Ohio State poll. We'll touch on the Browns quickly as we go, and then I want to get our bets in. I'm really excited for the Cavs game tonight, so we'll get you some trends on the Cavs OKC tonight. So we will get to that coming up. Big plays, the place you need us, folks. Big day here on Chico Show, 12 to 2. Zach Meisel talking Stephen Vogt as the new Guardians manager, and the Hall of Famer Joe Thomas going to stop by Chico Show. He's on 12 to 2 every single day. So there's 2 daily shows. We are 9 to 11 every morning. Chico's 12 to 2. We're always iHeart app, Big Play, and then Chico's got his show Twitter handle. We're at Matt Fontana Show for ours. But follow Big Play. It's always there, including all of our shows. Did you see Josh and Maria? They had Mary Kay on last night. Talking some Browns.
Yeah, she was great.
She's the best. Mary Kay is awesome. So then tonight, Bruce Drennan show. Will he talk about me licking microphones again? I'm sure. Do you have that clip? Are you going to play a clip for him tonight?
I'll play him the clip.
All right, play him the clip. See what he wants to say. Bonus times every Wednesday night. Then Booby's World. You mix in Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel. You got Reflug. You got Hanford. You got Blake and Greg Williams. Come get some. You got Ted Ginn show. All of it. Big Play is the place you need it. Check it out. Big Play on Twitter. Time Hop comes your way next. All right, let's jump in a little bit of Time Hop. What do we got here on November 8th? We'll go back and exactly tell you. I always get weird, Ryan, on deaths in Time Hop. You know, because they're sad. But this one's a pretty big one. Alex Trebek passed away this day, 2020. That was a gut wrench for all of us, man.
I remember exactly where it was. I was in Columbus.
Isn't there's some that you'll never forget? Well, like when you got the news or when you heard from something.
And that's one of those different ones, you know, because you knew it was coming for months.
Yeah.
And it was so sad to see him do his show, and you could tell he was just clearly sick. But, God, I mean, Jeopardy is my all-time favorite show. I would watch it every single weekday. I can't tell you how much I've learned from that. And Alex Trebek was seriously one of, if not my favorite celebrity ever.
It's funny that Josh Gordon comes back up off of Time Hop. We mentioned him earlier. This day, 2017, he was taken off the suspension list. So here's how it worked of his 2017 season. So I'm trying to look this up of like this stretch here. So he missed all of 2015 and all of 2016 for suspension. 2017, he started the offseason on March 1st applying for reinstatement. Because remember, when he would always get suspended, they would never be like, oh, hey, this was like an X game suspension. It was always just an indefinite suspension, and he had to reapply. So in March of 2017, he applied for reinstatement. It was denied in May. Then on November 1st, he was finally reinstated, but on a conditional basis, meaning he'd be eligible to return in Week 13. He was eventually activated off the commissioner's exempt list. For 2017, he would finish with 5 games, 18 receptions for 335 yards and a touchdown.
I feel like I need to reach out to Josh to get him on the show.
I'd love to have him on. I'd love to talk Josh Gordon. Because now with where we're at with everything going on with the weed and it's legal now, that's fine. Yeah, like it'd be a different world, but reach out to him. See if he's available. I'd love to have Josh Gordon on. I really would. That'd be fantastic. This day, 1994, the Cavs opened Gund Arena, but the Rockets spoil it. They get a 100-98 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. You want to look at the Cavs box score that year? Or at least for that game when they opened it. So they opened Gund Arena because that season, the Cavs started on the road. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was man, can you believe it? No, 1994, next season. Sorry. 1994. I was say it was weird. Can you believe that they started the season back in November? Back then. Here we are, 8 games into the season.
Yeah,
this was the Cavs'
crazy.
second game of the season. November 8th, 1994. They fall to the Houston Rockets, 198. The Cavs starters that night: Chris Mills, not Mim, Hot Rod Williams, Bobby Phills, Mark Price, and Tyrone Hill. Terrell Brandon had 19 off the bench. For the Rockets, Hakeem Olajuwon had 21, Vernon Maxwell 17, Robert Horry in the starting lineup had 13, Kenny the Jet Smith only 5 points in 20 minutes this day, 1994. This day, 1992, the Kings, Sacramento Kings, beat the LA Lakers 124-114 in LA. Why am I bringing that up? That ended a streak of 43 consecutive road losses for the Kings against the Lakers. It went from 1974, when the Kings were still in Omaha, to 1992. Almost 30 years. Or, I'm sorry, 20 years. 20 years on the road. The Kings had not beaten the Lakers, but they did this day, 1992. This day, 1895, German scientist Wilhelm Conrad Rogatyn discovered the X-ray. Now, Nikola Tesla, I think, was the first person to take an X-ray of the body, but they were discovered this day, 1895, by German scientist Wilhelm Conrad Rogatyn. How many X-rays do you think you've had in your life?
Honestly, Matt,
Not many?
2?
Okay. I've had a lot. Broken bones, surgery on the arms, a lot of extra. How many MRIs have you ever had? I've had 2. They suck. MRIs suck.
I had 2 stress fractures in my lower back, which was such a pain. I had to get an MRI for that, but other than that, I'm not sure I've had another one.
Very happy birthday goes out to Cavs legend Brevin Knight, former Indians pitcher Brian Shaw, the ageless wonder, Sam Bradford, Giancarlo Stanton, Gordon Ramsay, Tech 9, and Tara Reid, all celebrating birthdays today. All right, I have 4 for you in the movies, TV, music, pop culture side of things.
Let's do it.
So I have 2 songs, a television thing, and a movie. We start... Oh, no, this isn't a song. It's a movie. I'm sorry. I take that back. But here's your hint, that there was a very influential song that came out with this movie. The song mentions Mom's Spaghetti.
8 Mile.
8 Mile is correct. R.I.P. to Brittany Murphy. Can't say I've ever seen it, actually. I've never seen 8 Mile.
I haven't seen the whole thing either. I've just seen the rap battles.
Yeah, the rap battles. That's, I think, what everybody has seen. But yes, 8 Mile came out this day, 2002. All right, next up, this day, 2000, A curmudgeon who lives on a hill warms up to the friendly townfolk below.
It sounds to me like that's the Grinch.
That's Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I still go back to the animated one from 1966, but Jim Carrey's one is pretty good. His acting in that, like, he goes to a weird place to become the Grinch. But again, we were talking about Will Ferrell and Elf yesterday. The Grinch this day 2000. Jim Carrey's probably rolling in that cash, man.
Oh, yeah.
Completely rolling in the cash. All right, I will... This one's really hard because it debuted this day 1972. It is television related, but it's not a TV show. I don't even know a good way to describe it. I'll put it this way. You and I are both loyal subscribers to this streaming network.
Like ESPN? Or?
Different one. We've talked about it. We said in our bracket for the best streaming service. We love this streaming service.
Oh, HBO?
HBO. Debuted this day, 1972. You know what HBO stands for?
Home box office?
How did you know that?
I'm just like that,
Did
man.
you really know that? How
Yeah.
did you? I didn't even know that. I Googled it.
Nah, I'm like that, man.
Wow. I'm very impressed. Yes.
Thank you.
Home box office is what HBO stands for. It debuted this day, 1972. I think I've done this in the past, but it would be great. The best HBO show
Yes,
of all
I was just
time.
thinking that. There's so many. Game of Thrones is obviously going to be
Game
like
of
one of the
Thrones.
popular
All right,
ones.
so I have, this is their current programming. Curb Your Enthusiasm, House of the Dragon, which again is Game of Thrones. True Detective, which I think everybody loves. Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look former program. Oh man, The
I mean, there's a
Wire,
ton. Entourage, Boardwalk
The
Empire.
Sopranos. Is Succession not on that? Yeah, Succession. Here's their list. These are former ones. These are dramas. The Sopranos, The Wire, Deadwood, which I think a lot of people really liked. True Blood, Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, Boardwalk Empire.
Game of Thrones, Westworld, Succession.
Was Mad Men an HBO original?
I think so.
I thought so. Maybe not.
On the comedy side of things, Sex and the City was huge for them. Eastbound and Down, which was great. I think that's all comedies. Miniseries, Band of Brothers. That was on there too. Anthology, nothing really there. Animation, all that. Docu-series. Yeah, I mean, I think we've done that before. At least I've done it before. I know the prior stop there on the best HBO show, but it debuted this day, 1972. All right, final one, a song that came out this day, 1971. The hint would be some feel like this is the best song ever written. It's obviously up for debate, but a lot of people put this very high up as one of the best songs ever written. 1971. Any guess on that?
So I'm just kind of guessing popular from that time period. 71. This might have been written a couple years later, but Stairway to Heaven?
No, it was not, Ryan, because it debuted this day, 1971. There's a lady who's sure all the glitters is gold.
Oh, I got it right?
Yeah. And she's buying a Stairway to Heaven. Nice job, Ryan.
Wow, okay.
Yes, it was Stairway to Heaven. Yes.
Wow, great song.
1971. Yes, debuted this day for Led Zeppelin. Wow. I love Zeppelin.
Good day for me.
Great day for you in Time Hop. Well done there, Ryan. All right, let's update our Twitter question because it really started as a bad day for me when it came out, all this Michigan stuff. So the question was up at Matt Fontana Show. We asked everybody, do you care what happens to Jim Harbaugh in Michigan? Ryan, this poll is 50-50. Literally split down the middle. 50.3% to 49.7% at Matt Fontana Show. I voted no. I'm really just completely sick of this situation. But it's still, there is an interest level. Like, I'm waiting like everybody to see what happens, but I'm waiting from, I want this over. Like, I'm sick of this being a thing, but I don't care what they do. And do you want to know why? because I have no faith that they're actually going to do anything to him. Call me if that changes. Tell me if that is wrong. But I don't believe for a second that the NCAA, or specifically the Big Ten, because it sounds like everything is in the court of the Big Ten right now. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to willingly take a lot of money and one of their teams out of the college football playoff. So if you're going to be on the NCAA will step in and save the day. Yeah, okay. Wait on that while you're at it. I've got no faith that they're actually going to do anything punitive to them. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. They're going to stop sign stealing. What are you going to do from there? What? Seriously. And as bad as things are in the NCAA, what happens? You move on. As bad as the Penn State, as bad as the Baylor stuff was, you move on from it. And that's what will happen with Michigan. And those are different things. And in no way am I trying to make a comparison of sign stealing to the terrible and awful things that happen at Baylor and at Penn State. They were handed a penalty. They're out the other side. And that is what's going to happen to Michigan in this. And that's kind of why I don't care anymore. Hand them their suspension. If you're looking for a pound of flesh, I don't think you're going to get it. And I think that's why I've pretty much stopped caring about it. I care very much about the Cavs tonight, though, Ryan. They are in action tonight against those Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's get to it. Our bets with Tipico. Use that code BIGPLAY150 when you sign up. And they have all the spreads and odds and everything that you need. Here's what I'm thinking for tonight. So the Cavs are a 2.5-point favorite there in Oklahoma City Thunder, or against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's take a look at where the Cavs are at. So they have won 2 out of the last 3. They just beat Golden State 105-104. They had that tough loss Friday night against Golden State, and they beat the Knicks about a week ago, actually. For Oklahoma City, they have won 2 out of their last 4. They beat up on Atlanta 2 days ago, but they lost in a shootout, 141-139 to Golden State, where I think, was it Steph that hit that 3 late in the game to get the win there? And then they also lost to the Pelicans, 110-106. So really, if you're looking at the over-under in all of this, dude, they are slamming the over right now. 100 points across the board pretty much. The over is 2-1-1 in their last 4 games for Oklahoma City. Let's get to the trends. The Cavs are actually only 2-8 against the spread their last 10 games, but they are 4-2 straight up their last 6 games against Oklahoma City, and they are 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games in the road. For the Cavs, the under 5 out of their last 6 games and 6 out of their last 8 games when the Cavs are favored. For Oklahoma City, they are 8-3 against the spread their last 11 games, 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games at home, and the under has hit 4 out of the last 5 games between Oklahoma City and the Cavs. I'm going to take the Cavs tonight. I just want them to win. The over-under tonight is 227.5. I kind of like the over. So how about this? Get a little parlay action here on Tipico. Would you indulge me for a second? Back into the Tipico app we go. So this is what I'm going to do. Tonight, I'm going to go Cavs. I'll take them on the money line, -2.5. Point total, I will take over the 227.5. Can I get some player props up in here? Maybe so. Same game parlay. Player points. Donovan Mitchell over under 28.5. Oh, I like Darius Garland over that 18.5 a lot. Slamming that.
Do you know what Shies is?
Shy is at, I don't see him on here for some reason. Huh.
Is he out today?
I don't know. I haven't seen. He's not on the Tipico app right now. Maybe they'll wait on that. He's not there. The other thing, you actually want to know something I really like that you can do at Tipico? To record 25 points, rebounds, and assists. So, like, I could do that. 30. How about this? Donovan Mitchell, 30 points, rebounds, and assists. Dude. I got a 4 selection here. Over 227.5. Cavs -2.5. Darius Garland over 18.5. Donovan Mitchell, 30 points, rebounds, and assists. Over, that comes out to plus 714. 714 for me on a little 4-leg parlay. What do you like about that?
I like it, Matt.
I like it. I'm placing it right there in Tipico. You can do the same game parlays. It's super easy to do. Download the app. Use that code BIGPLAY150 when you sign up. Action is in and good. I'm excited for the Cavs tonight. I'm excited. I think you got to vindicate a little bit of a win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But the Thunder are 4-3. I mean, they're a good basketball team. I want to see the Cavs continue this momentum a little bit. Started off a little slow. You had the injuries. But I think tonight's going to be a big game for them. Just to keep that going. Plus, then you go out on the West Coast because they have they have Golden State again. Like this week, I think. So we wrap up. We got the Thunder tonight. Then they begin a little West Coast trip. Golden State Saturday, Sacramento Monday, Portland Wednesday. So they got a week-long, 4-game, 7-day road trip. I'd like them to go 3-1. Sacramento might be the toughest game there. Should have no problem with Portland, and I think you get one again on Golden State, which would be nice.
That would be very nice, man.
I'm asking for 3-1 on this little trip right now. So we'll see. Donovan Mitchell, of course, has a massive streak going right now. 3 straight games of 30-plus points. Dude, can I tell you how much I like that on Tipico, that 30-plus points, rebounds, and assists?
And it's cool because with that, you're pretty much in the game the whole time.
I mean, you're in it. Yeah, that's like, and that really, I like doing that just to boost my odds a little bit on my little parlay action, which I like there. To the Browns, we'll get to our bracket here in just a second as well. But to get to the Browns, today, it's kind of nice that I don't have to worry about what Deshaun Watson's doing or not. I think he'll practice today, and frankly, I don't care because I know he's going to play Sunday. For the Browns, easy day on through. Easy day on through. So we'll see. It's kind of nice to be able to sit back and relax and just get to practice and see where we go. Really, on the injury front, Greg Newsome is probably the biggest one for me. We'll talk to Stefanski later today. I'm sure he'll talk a little bit about who's going to fill in at left tackle. You know that's going to kind of be a piece job right there. You're just kind of doing the best that you can with Jed Wills out. I'll expect an update on Greg Newsome a little bit later today. But Ryan, it's nice to go into a Wednesday practice and just not have to worry about Deshaun Watson anymore. I can focus on the game. I can just focus on the game, which is going to be awesome. So we'll see how that goes. One thing I saw that came out this morning, I want to attribute this because I think it was, who was the player? So you know how these players all have their podcasts and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, still scrolling. Oh, Marlon Humphrey is the player. He went on a podcast, the Punchline Pod, which I'm assuming is his podcast. He said the Ravens were 85% close to trading for Derrick Henry.
Wow.
You see that this morning?
I did not.
I don't know how much Derrick Henry's got left in the tank, but let me just put it this way. I'm glad that we don't have to face Derrick Henry on Sunday. Because they don't have J.K. Dobbins, like this running attack. They still have Gus Edwards. This all falls on Lamar Jackson. But could you imagine if they had actually pulled it off? Again, Marlon Humphrey said in his podcast the Ravens were 85% close to trading for Derrick Henry.
I wonder how he knows that, though.
I mean, it's like, and it's the same thing. It's horseshoes and hand grenades. Did you get it done or not?
Yeah.
Being close doesn't really count. Did you pull the trade off or not? I am a little shocked that Baltimore didn't do something to really kind of push themselves over the top. And now, why would they? They're 7-2. They're a really good football team. I get it. But I think they could use a piece here or there. It's funny when you look at Baltimore, which we'll dive into a lot. We'll dive into them a lot more, as the days come and we get ready for Sunday. But it really is, Ryan. It's a lot of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Zay Flowers is good, and Mark Andrews still one of the best tight ends. Offensive line is fine. But it's really all Lamar right now. And the Browns have had success in the past. I know with Joe Woods, but they have had a recipe of shutting Lamar down, which is nice. And then also, did you see Myles Garrett yesterday? So he was on a couple of podcasts. I saw him on Pat McAfee.
I think I saw him on K.
He was on Kay Adams, and they asked him, would you rather have Burrow or Lamar? And he said Burrow. He said rather have Joe Burrow.
I mean, yeah.
A little spice for the weekend there with Myles. Who would you rather have, Lamar or Joe Burrow? Probably Burrow. Yeah, probably Burrow. I think the thing with Lamar will always be, like, are you waiting for him to get hurt again? And I know Joe Burrow just got hurt too, but Lamar's play kind of more sets you up for that injury. He was not asked about Deshaun Watson, of course, because that would just be laying it up. That's going to be my take, man. That's going to be where I'm at the next couple of days. I'm going to be neurotic for Sunday. This is on Deshaun Watson, man. This is the game. This is the game. that I'm going to put everything I got on Deshaun Watson. I want to see him perform. I want to see him step up. I want to see him play well. I want to see the results of our big play bracket up at Matt Fontana Show. We're asking everybody your favorite music video of all time. So I got some text. Shout out to the Macho. You know the Macho fan, right? The Browns Macho fan. You ever seen him? Dan, great guy. Love him to death. He texted me yesterday. He goes, bro, you did not put Thriller and Sabotage in the same opening bracket. And I said, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But that's how it falls. Thriller takes it down, 63% of the vote there. Sabotage does finish in second, November Rain, and You Can't Touch Us going home. The second one was much closer, but Take On Me by Aha, 36%, 25% for Smells Like Teen Spirit, Purple Rain, and We're Not Gonna Take It going home. Group 3, Hot for Teacher, Here I Go Again, Whitesnake, which are pretty much of the same, and really the Bee Gees are all kind of the same era. And then OK Go, Here It Goes Again, is up there in Group 3. Group 4, I don't know how I'm going to vote. Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel, Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve, California Love, Tupac, and Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. All in their own right, amazing songs. They're all great, but we're talking just music video. Ryan, do you think people are voting on the song or the videos? Because we want them voting on the videos,
I
right?
hope the videos. It says music video on the bracket and in the tweets, so I'm hoping they're voting music video. But Matt, I've realized how funny it is that I just realized in Group 3 we have Here I Go Again and Here It Goes Again.
Aha!
No, Aha is Take On Me.
You got it. You're picking it up. We're right there. You got me on that one. Good. I'm glad you picked that up.
But I think Group 3 and 4 will be closer.
Very close.
Than Group
Very
2
close.
and 1 were.
So follow at Matt Fontana Show. We're over the 300 followers now, so appreciate everybody that drops us there. The brackets will go up right as soon as we wrap up, so you can cast your vote there and get it done. Great day. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We're going to get out a little bit earlier. Show's coming in to record, so we'll get out of here a few minutes early today. We'll see what Kevin Stefanski says later today on that left tackle. We know it's going to be James Hudson going, but starting tomorrow, man, it's all Browns. It's all Ravens. I'm so excited for this game tonight. Cavs, go get it done tonight. I like them to get the win tonight. I like them minus that 2. I love that little parlay I just cooked up. You got me thinking, man. Is Shy? No.
I didn't see him on an injury
I haven't
report.
seen anything.
Well, were there other Thunder players that you could?
Yeah. Like Chet Holmgren was in there. I mean, here's the thing, too. They update throughout the day.
Yeah.
So same game parlay. Okay, so like I think Shy was just too Shy 40 points, rebounds, and assists. He's in there for that. I don't know why they don't have a player point over under for him though. That's an interesting one. He's in there for 3-pointers made over under oh man, I should add this to parlay. Over under 1.5 3-point. But Shy doesn't shoot a lot of threes. The score 25 plus points. Shy's minus 350. I should have added that to boost my parlay. Hey, you want to know what? I can just cash the parlay on out, add it to it. I'll do that on my way home. Nonetheless, appreciate everybody's support today. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, tonight you have Bruce Drennan with Bonus Time, and coming up at 12, a Big Day and Chico show. Zach Meisel to talk Stephen Vogt, new Guardians manager, and the Hall of Famer Joe Thomas in on Chico's show today from 12 to 2. Follow along on Twitter. Of course, all the social medias and streaming on the iHeart app where we are as well. That's it. We got to fly. Wednesday in the books. Appreciate everybody joining us. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy.